Hey everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk specifically to those of you who are new to the Philippines. Maybe you're visiting for the first time. Maybe you only come here occasionally. Or maybe you're thinking about moving here, and you're just starting to discover what life in the Philippines is really like. If you've been coming to the Philippines for years, you probably already know most of this. So this video is really for the newcomers, especially men who want to meet a Filipino woman and build a normal, genuine, serious relationship. Maybe you want someone you can travel with, explore tourist destinations with, go for walks, have dinner together, talk, laugh, and simply enjoy life. And for some people, it can also be a great opportunity to learn Filipino or improve your English. English is widely spoken in the Philippines, and many Filipinos speak English very well. So the big question is, where can you meet a Filipino woman without spending money in bars or getting involved in situations that are only about money? Let's talk about it. Online dating. First, if you're not comfortable approaching women in public, there are plenty of online options. There are dating apps, dating websites, Facebook, and other social media platforms where people meet, but you need to be careful. In my opinion, when it comes to online dating, you have to be very selective because there are scammers, fake profiles, and people who are simply looking for foreigners to send them money. And here is one rule I strongly recommend. Never send money to someone you haven't even met. For example, imagine you've been talking to a woman online and you agree to meet. She tells you, "I want to come and meet you, but I need money for transportation." Maybe she really doesn't have enough money to travel. That can happen. But even then, don't send the money in advance. You can simply say, "No problem. Come and meet me, and I'll pay for your transportation when you arrive." If she really wants to meet you, she can come. And if she suddenly disappears because you refuse to send money, well, you probably just saved yourself from a problem. Because unfortunately, sometimes a person will ask you to send money through GCash or another transfer service. You send it, and suddenly, you're blocked. No more messages. No meeting. Nothing. So remember, never send money to someone you haven't met. If she actually arrives and you meet her in person, that's completely different. You can invite her to sit down, talk, and get to know each other. And you don't need an expensive restaurant. You can go to Jollibee, McDonald's, or a simple local restaurant. The important thing isn't how expensive the food is. The important thing is respect. Sit down, eat together, and talk. Ask her about her family. Ask where her parents live. Ask what she does for work. Ask what she likes to do. And most importantly, listen. That's how you start learning who this person really is. Pay attention to her life. If she tells you she doesn't currently have a job, that doesn't automatically mean something is wrong. But you can ask what she did before. Maybe she worked in a store. Maybe she worked in a restaurant. Maybe she helped her family. Maybe she's studying. Maybe she's currently looking for work. Many Filipino families work very hard, and family support is extremely important here. Some people work in small stores, some study while working, and sometimes relatives who work overseas help support their families and pay for education. So don't judge someone simply because she doesn't have a job today. Instead, try to understand her story. Another important warning. There is another situation you should be aware of, especially when meeting people online. Sometimes you may expect to meet a woman, and a man shows up. Maybe he is dressed as a woman, and you simply misunderstood the situation. First of all, don't get angry. The Philippines is a very diverse country, and there are many people here with different identities and orientations. If you realize that the person who arrived isn't the person you expected to meet, simply be polite. You can say, "I'm sorry, but I misunderstood. I was expecting to meet a woman." Then politely say goodbye and move on. You don't need to shout. You don't need to insult anyone. And you definitely don't need to create a scene. This brings me to another very important point about the Philippines. Respect matters. You are in another country. The culture is different. People generally appreciate friendliness, politeness, and a calm attitude. If you treat people with respect, you are much more likely to receive respect in return. Meeting women in public. Now, let's talk about something much more natural. Meeting someone in real life. You could be walking through a park. You could be at a shopping mall. You could be at a market. You could be walking around the city. Maybe you make eye contact with a woman. Maybe you smile. Maybe she says, "Hi." You say, "Hi." And that can be the beginning of a conversation. But remember, many Filipino women are shy. A normal Filipino woman may not walk up to a foreign man and say, "Hey, let's go on a date." That's not necessarily how it works. Sometimes you need to take the initiative. Just smile and say, "Hi, how are you?" You can even ask a simple question. For example, "Excuse me, do you know how I can get there?" Maybe you ask for directions. She answers. You say, "Thank you." And then, if the conversation naturally continues, you can ask her something else. You don't have to rush. Just let the conversation develop naturally. Eventually, you might say, "Would you like to have something to eat sometime?" And then you can ask whether she is single. That's important, because you don't want to discover later that she has a husband or a boyfriend. So simply ask, "Are you single?" There's nothing wrong with asking respectfully. If she says yes and she seems interested, great. If she says no, smile, say thank you, and move on. One simple trick. And here's something very simple that can help if you're shy. Have your phone number ready. Or even better, write your number down on a small piece of paper. You can say, "Here's my number. If you'd like to talk, send me a message." Then leave the decision to her. Maybe she messages you. Maybe she doesn't. And that's okay. Don't chase her. Don't send 10 messages. Don't keep asking why she hasn't replied. Don't pressure her. If she's interested, she'll contact you. If she isn't interested, respect that and move on. There are millions of people in the world. You don't need to convince someone to like you. Where else can you meet people? There are actually many places where you can meet people naturally. Shopping malls, markets, parks, public places, restaurants, coffee shops, bus terminals, jeepney terminals, and just everyday places where people live their normal lives. For example, places around Dow Terminal or other busy transportation areas can be full of people. But again, the location isn't the most important thing. The person is what matters. Take your time, talk, ask questions, get to know her, find out what she does, what her life is like, and what she wants from a relationship. And here is my biggest rule. If the conversation quickly becomes about money, and stop. I don't care how beautiful she is. I don't care how attractive she is. I don't care how much you like her. If the relationship immediately becomes, "I need money. Can you send me money? Can you pay for this? Can you help my family?" Then you need to step back and think very carefully. If you are looking for a genuine relationship, you want to find someone who is interested in you, not just your wallet. Of course, every relationship has expenses. Of course, helping each other sometimes is normal, but if money becomes the foundation of the relationship from the very beginning, that's a major warning sign. So take your time. Don't rush. Don't send money to strangers. Meet people in real life. Talk to them. Listen to their stories. And most importantly, use common sense. The Philippines can be an amazing place to meet people, make friends, travel, and possibly find someone special. Just remember that not everyone you meet has the same intentions. Be friendly, be respectful, be careful, and never forget, you're a guest in another country. Learn the culture, respect the people, and enjoy the experience. Thank you very much for watching or listening. If you're new to the Philippines, I hope this video helps you avoid some common mistakes and gives you a better idea of how to meet people here naturally. Take care, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.